Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, welcome to the Satsang. So I'll read today's schedule. So again, we have an anonymous singer today. After that, Michael will give introduction. Then there is reading by Punitji. Then we'll have short dhyan session. Then we'll play master's video, and then we'll all do group meditation. Thank you.
Capacity to understand. This song is about times we fail in our preparation. Purpose of meditation, as told by our beloved, is nothing but a preparation to leave the body. It is a rehearsal to die. Our inadequate efforts often fill us with guilt. When the breath of life forsakes us, we try to fabricate the stage of death by enforcing detachment, simran, and dhyan, knowing little that our beloved is more eager to meet his lover. It is not in our capacity to understand his immense, unfathomable, and unconditional love for us. He says, "Do not fret, my love. Just take my hand and come back to me as you are. You need no preparation. I am here to embrace you without any judgment. Even if your mind and body is unyielding, just put your attention on me. I am here to escort you back home. My beloved in me, in my beloved I am. There is no distance left between us. It is the day he marries our soul for eternity."
जिंदगी की डोर छूटती जा रही है, सीने में दर्द भी है, आनंद भी। मेरे सतगुरु आते ही होंगे, बस इन रिश्तों के धागे सुलझा लूं। जानती हूँ वो क्या कहेंगे, जैसी हो वैसी ही आ जाओ, रिश्तों को रहने दो। तेरे नाम के श्रृंगार से सजना चाहती हूँ, लाखों दिए इंतजार के जलाना चाहती हूँ, सूरत को अपनी सुहागन बनाना चाहती हूँ। पर जानती हूँ वो क्या कहेंगे, जैसी हो वैसी ही आ जाओ, श्रृंगार को रहने दो। जैसी हो वैसी ही आ जाओ, श्रृंगार को रहने दो। मिलन का वेला आ ही गया है, मन की मैल नहीं उतरी, तन की चादर उधड़ गई है, तो भी कोई बात नहीं। जैसी हो वैसी ही आ जाओ, श्रृंगार को रहने दो। प्रकाश का आंचल फैला हुआ है, देखा क्या, गूंजे शब्द की सुर सतलोक में, रहने दो, जैसी हो वैसी ही आ जाओ, चिंता को रहने दो, हो मोह को रहने दो, रहने दो, सांसों को रहने दो.
My dear brothers and sisters, welcome to the house of Prashad. Welcome to the heart of the hearts, to the satsang of Ishwar Puri Ji, our Holy Father. I usually I have a YouTube channel where I put my talks and Sant Thakar's talks, because Sant Thakar's work, all his thousands of satsangs, nobody ever published them, and I felt like his work is being lost, and I have to do something. So every day I put a talk from him on my YouTube channel, and they won't let me put this satsang because some people don't want to be on YouTube. So I just sometimes take sometimes, not all the time, I would like edit my talk and put it there, and I under it I say, if you want to join our daily satsang, and every few days I get like comments. Like yesterday, two people, and one person said, "Oh wow, Michael, I'm an initiate of Sant Thakar Singh, and I just found Ishwar because of your talk." And every few days I got another lady in the same day that said the same thing, and that makes me like so happy that my brothers and sisters who are lost without the perfect one, now they have come to the heart of the hearts where they are safe, and they are with Ishwar Puri Ji, where they should be in the perfect master's arms and under his embrace. And that makes me so happy. You don't imagine how happy I get that I see a soul coming to my Holy Father, where Sant Thakar Singh is living, where the spirituality of Sant Thakar Singh is working. And that makes my soul just so elated that the Seva is bearing fruit and bringing some souls to our Holy Father. That makes me so happy. Yesterday, after satsang, the alarm started going over here in my phone and everywhere that there is a big tornado coming. And yes, and I was meditating on my chair, and they said, go to the basement. I'm like, no way, I'm gonna keep meditating. Well, I kept meditating, and then I got up when it really hit and things were flying, and I took a video. And then I went outside, and oh my God, there was like destruction everywhere. I put it on my Facebook. Big trees down on cars, everything, but nothing happened to my building or my car. And I wanted to tell you a story of grace that 4 months ago, the woman that manages this building said that there was a tree standing just on the like where I parked my car, a big tree. And she said, we have to take this tree down. And I'm like, no, please don't take it. I love this tree. All the birds come on it, and it just gives shade and coolness. And they all went against me, and they said it's a liability. And the tree was cut, and I felt so sad. But now I understand Master's grace, and how come sometimes he gives us blessings in disguise, and you will understand them later, that this action happened by the God power, by the Master power, to bless my car. So nothing, because the big tree behind it, that in the neighbors, it was split into half and fell on both sides, but not on our side. But yeah, that tree was cut, and my car was saved. And I'm like, now I understand. Like just like that story. Remember that story of Grace I told you about, that saint that lived in a village, and then they used to always go and tell the saint their problems, and one day all the roosters died in that village, and they went to him and they told him, how come all the roosters? He said, there might be some good in it. It's God's will. There should be some good in it from God. And then the next day, all the, what happened then? The I forgot. The fires went out. Yeah, the fires went out, and they could not cook. All the fires went out, and the third day, all the dogs died. And the people did not understand, and they went to the saint complaining, how come this happened? And then he said, it should be God's grace. It should be God's grace. It's God's will. Just accept God's will. There must be something good that's going to come out of it. And then there was an invader king from the Mongols who came, and he was burning and destroying and raping and pillaging villages. But when he passed by that village, he didn't see any cooking smoke. He didn't hear the dogs, and he didn't hear the roosters. And he said, oh, that village is abandoned. And he passed that village. He passed that village, and that village was left untouched. And then people could see why these things happened, and they could understand. And now, after a few months, I understand why Master made the landowner, the building manager, take off the tree against my will. That it's a protection. So Master's Prashad is in different ways. Master is always giving Prashad. And in Satsang, it's the house of Prashad, where we all get Prashad. And he's giving Prashad all the time. And it's a gift. It's a gift. It's a charity from God, from Master, that we don't deserve, but he gives it. He gives it, and in no matter way what he gives it. Sometimes he gives it in the matter of food. And each particle is charged. And the mind, the intellect, they don't understand what it is, but the soul enjoys the Prashad. And they say, even if one drop of Prashad fell on the ground, and an ant ate that drop of Prashad, that ant surely will get the human form and will be blessed by the Master power. That this is how much charged and how powerful just one drop of Prashad. And really, the lovers of God, they appreciate every drop. And if a drop of Prashad like goes on the ground, they will run after it to get it. They will not waste even a little drop, because they know what value is in this Prashad. So they say that the Master is the awakened love of God. He is a love personified, and he's always giving Prashad in his kind, like kind thoughts, in his well wishes, in his even when he sleeps, he's giving out Prashad. He's giving out Prashad in so many ways, so many ways. When he speaks to us, when he looks at you, that's the most powerful Prashad. That drishti, that is the Prashad of all Prashads when he looks at you. And your eyes meet his eyes, that's the strongest Prashad. But yes, the Master is always giving Prashad. And this Prashad, even when he's sleeping, he's giving Prashad. And whenever he gives Prashad, it changes. The hardest hearts, they change into soft. As when you see people coming to Master the first time, their heart, and I witnessed that hundreds of times during Sant Thakar's time, they come with the world energy, and they come with hard hearts, and they come like criticizing and sitting like that. And then after a while, Master is giving the Prashad in the air, and their hearts catch it, and then they become soft, and they start to smile, and they feel the love. So it is said that love thy Father God with all thy heart, all thy mind, and all thy soul. But how can we love God? We cannot love God. Our hearts are empty. We have no love. We have no love. And in this world, the people of this world, they cannot love also, because they are not connected to the source of love. And their love is give and take. I love you, here is this for you, and then give me back. Like it is the love of give and take. It is not true love. It is not true love. But when Master awakens us as soul, he awakens the source of love in us. And when he awakens the source of love in us, he also starts to shower his love on us. And then our empty hearts are slowly being filled up with his love. And when our hearts are starting to be filled up with his love, that means our negativity is being drained out. And what is hatred? Hatred is an empty heart. Hatred is an empty heart. An empty heart, emptiness is hatred. And what does Master do? He fills the heart with the love of God. When he awakens your soul, when he starts to look at you, and when he connects you with the two aspects of love, the holy light and the holy sound, that fills our heart with so much love. And then we can start to say, love thy Father God with all thy heart, all thy mind, and all thy body. That then we can start to love God. First, we love ourselves as soul and God, and then we fill our hearts more with Master's love, and then we can start to love our family, we can start to love our friends, unconditional love, without expecting anything back in return. And then we start to not even love just our family, friends, and we start to love everyone, and we start to love thy enemy. Love thy enemy as thyself, as Jesus said. That also, that gift will be given to us, that we will start to love our enemy when Master fills our heart with his love. They say that love begets love and hatred begets hatred. That if you have a hatred thought to somebody, it multiplies, because they will give you back a hatred thought, you will give them back a hatred thought, and then one spark starts a big fire. One spark of hatred can start a whole war. Like they say, like sometimes, like somebody criticizes a president, or one president criticizes the other president, and from that thought, hatred thought, it sparks a whole war. That one hatred thought multiplies. And the same thing, like when you sow a seed of a tree, then it becomes so many fruits. Like it gives one seed becomes multiple fruits, and so many people can enjoy it. So the same thing, when you sow a seed of hate, it multiplies, and it becomes a big storehouse of hatred. But when you sow a seed of love, that love begets love, it multiplies into love, and then it washes out hatred. As when we start to love, and when we fill our hearts with love, and then we accept hatred and we reply to hatred with love. This is how the saints and masters do. They accept the hatred and they reply with love, and then when they reply with love, then the heart of the other person who is giving hate, he receives the love, and in the first time his heart is still hardened, but it is less hardened. The second time he gives hate, and then we reply with love, then his heart is less hardened, much more less hardened, and becomes softer and totally. That's why they say the strongest weapon is love. It conquers all. It conquers all. There is a story that I wanted to tell you, and it's a beautiful story. You know how in some Middle Eastern countries, and there is revenge. Not just in Middle Eastern countries, but in many countries, they say, like, if somebody hurt your father and you don't revenge for your father, then your father's soul will not rest, and you have to revenge. So it's like a bad habit, really. It's a bad habit, but people go with it in some countries. And there was this person who somebody did something bad to his father, and he made a promise that he will revenge for his father, and he will kill that person, even to bring the honor back. You know, it's all about honor and all that. And he wants to regain the honor of his father, so he has to go and kill that person who did something bad to his father. So he was wondering where that person is, and then when he was ready, he traveled to a faraway village where he heard that that person is living. And then when he reached that village, he was very tired, and then he asked where that person is, and the people didn't know where he lived, but he said he was tired, and he wanted a place to stay. And they said, yes, there is a very, very generous, nice man with a very, very soft heart. He helps everybody that comes here. You go to him and stay with him, and he will help you. So he went, and yes, for sure, that person was so generous, and he helped him, and he gave him food, and he was so loving to him, and he gave him a place to sleep. And that person who went to do the revenge felt so much love. And he was like, wow, I've never met somebody like that, so much loving and so much caring. Really, people like that exist in this world. And then in the morning, when he was about to leave, the host asked him, is there anything else that I could do for you? I could help you? He said, yes, yes. And he told him the story that, somebody did something bad years ago when I was young to my dad. And now I'm coming to revenge, and I'm coming to kill him. And his name is so and so. And do you know where he is? And that host folded his hands like that, and he told him, that person is me. I am so sorry. That was many years ago, and this is the reason this happened. And now you have found me, and please do, since I am here and I am your servant, and I deserve to die because of that incident, then you go ahead and kill me. But then the guy who was going to revenge thought to himself, wow, how can I kill this man? If I kill this man, I'm killing God. That this person is a saintly person, because we change over time. This person repented and changed. He probably found the master, and he meditated, and all his negativity got washed, and he has love in his heart now. So that person who wanted to revenge, said, if I kill that person, I'm killing God. He was so nice to me. I am killing goodness. I'm killing goodness in the world if I kill that person. And then he totally forgave him. That love of that person went into his heart. It changed his heart, and his hatred was changed into love, and they became very, very good friends. That forgiveness and love took over. This is the way of the saints, and this is our way, that Father God slowly, slowly, slowly will fill our hearts to the brim with love. And then at some point we will become like the Master, how the Master is an overflowing well of love with a endless, that has no bottomless well. It's a bottomless well that keeps flowing, with overflowing and overflowing and overflowing and overflowing with love. And that love saturates everybody. Wherever the Master walks, wherever the perfect one goes, he's just flowing with love. Whoever comes into that sphere of influence, he gets drenched with the love of the Master, and his life totally changed. So we will become like that, as Master is a philosopher's stone, and he wants to change our heart into his heart. Our heart will become exactly like the heart of Master, and it will be overflowing with love, and we will change this world. How can we change this world? If we change ourselves. If we change ourselves, our love will start to flow. People will feel that love. What is the difference between a fake Master and the perfect one? Is a fake Master has no love. He has an empty heart, or a little love that people will, when they come over there, they will not feel anything. Maybe in the beginning, their mind feels something, but then at some point, when there is no mana of life being given, people will leave that place, and they will go. If they are after love, they will go to the source of love. That's why when people come to the perfect Master, they feel the love. They drink the love, they eat the love, and they are drenched with the love of the Master, and that love stays with them forever, and it catches their heart, it changes their heart, and they are forever happy, forever lucky persons. So this is my introduction for today, and I'm hoping that my heart one day will overflow with Master's love, and your heart will overflow with Master's love, and we will become an inferno of Master's love. And we will spill God on this world and love on this world. So thank you, Master. Puneet is gonna, I can't wait to hear Puneet.
Hello, Brother Michael. Can you hear me well? Is my audio clear?
Yes, very well.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So, perfect. I have my notes on the side, so I'll keep referring to them. Please ignore the movement. So honestly, this time I struggled a lot because I have so many things to talk about. And, there is so much I've learned from daily satsang. I almost changed my topic 4 times, but then I had to finally settle for something, and I rewrote my whole script today. So there's a lot that is happening. I had to watch a lot of videos. I read a book. I read many transcripts, but it kept on piling up. But then at the end, I realized that all of this learning happened for the good. I learned so much just because I had to speak for 10 minutes. So it was an amazing way of Master to teach me a lot of things about, various topics. And there were so many topics I thought of talking about the benefit of satsang. So basically, when I say satsang, I don't mean live satsang by a perfect living master. I also include any other satsang. So like Michael used to say in his introduction, when 2 or more gather in my name, there I am. I don't remember which saint said that, but that's a very powerful saying. So whenever we gather or anyone gathers to discuss and talk about Master for love and devotion, there is satsang. So, and even at this moment, if you feel it very well, if you can imagine, if you can remember Master, you will start to see him around yourself. You can feel that he's here with us. He's attending satsang with us. And I'm so happy that he's listening to me. So let's start with something that Baba Jaimal Singh Ji said to Baba Sawan Singh Ji. And I got this from the book Words Divine. It's a very beautiful short message. It says, the body is like a dream. When the body itself is unreal, then all things in this world are unreal. Naam alone is true. Hold fast to it. So here Naam means the sound current, the Shabd. So to really comprehend the true depth of this short, lovely message, we need to go beyond the mind and body to really feel what it means. For that, we need to withdraw our attention to the third eye center and find the truth within ourselves. But obviously, this is not a one-day task. It doesn't happen in one day. So to really achieve that within ourselves, we need complete surrender. We need love and devotion, and most importantly, we need His grace to really achieve, salvation, enlightenment. So, okay, so for us to keep going on this path, we need to attend satsang, because obviously it's not a one-day task. And what keeps us on this path is satsang. Otherwise, our wandering mind, it will keep misusing our attention. It will take us wherever the mind wants, and it will start treating us like a donkey. So let's talk more about what Baba Jaimal Singh Ji said. Listen to them very carefully. These are very powerful messages. He says, a true devotee who has merged himself in the Master is a Gurumukh. Whatever he does is all meditation. Another one, if there is true love in the heart for the Master and intense longing for his darshan, it is more purifying than 100 years of meditation. It hits so hard. It is so hard. It doesn't it? So masters make it sound so easy. They are very motivating. There is a lot of affection and warmth in the way they speak, and they are so inspiring. You feel like, okay, let's do this. I can do it in one day. But obviously, it doesn't happen that way. But satsang is where it all begins. That's where you start to understand the teachings. You start to feel the warmth and love and what they really want to say in such simple, polite words. So how they help, how perfect living masters help us is they take us beyond the mind. By doing that, they help us realize that the truth is within ourselves, and they help us to pay off karma as well. When you realize that this mind and body is not me, the thoughts inside of me, the voices I hear inside of myself is not me. You think beyond time and space. You think beyond the time-bound material creation, and karma or whatever events happen in your life, they don't matter anymore. And that way, you realize that you're just watching a play. You're not the character itself. So, so for them to take us beyond the mind, they need to convince the mind first, because mind is a big barrier. It's a bulldog as Ishwarji calls it. So what masters do is they answer all the questions, they clear all the doubts. It takes time, but when the mind is out of the way, we can meditate more easily and experience for ourselves the truth within. This convincing of the mind starts at satsang. Satsang is where it all begins. Our seeking brings us to satsang. And the seeking brings me to this beautiful explanation that Ishwarji gave in 2017 for spirituality. Ishwarji says that spirituality means that you want to find what is your spirit, what is your soul, who are you really? It is about realizing our true self at the totality of consciousness. And it all begins at satsang. Okay, I think I should add here the meaning of satsang. So sat means truth and sang means to be in company of. So satsang means in the company of the truth. So, but isn't all knowledge really inside of us? Because if everything is at the third eye center, all knowledge is there. And if we withdraw our attention over there, like I just said, you can, and merge with the sound current, the shabd, you can realize and experience for yourself the whole truth. And when you are going through these different levels of creation, you will see that this creation is self-explanatory. It will explain itself. You don't have to read anything or understand anything. You don't need to speak a language. The creation explains itself. So what is it? The thing is, the spiritual journey doesn't start at the third eye center. It starts at satsang. That's where our seeking brings us. And so many of us, I'm sure so many of us found Ishwarji through a short YouTube video. And that's where, so basically, like Ishwarji says, we don't find the master finds us. So it was his way that he built up coincidences for us to find a short YouTube video and start on the spiritual journey. All right. So talking about beginnings, Ishwarji says that the spiritual journey, it ends when you meet a perfect living master. It's that simple. When you have the first meeting with him, you are under his care. He will take care of you. You might or might not come back again. He will make sure you're initiated in the same life or at least the next life. And you're definitely going back home. But despite the journey ending on meeting them, it still feels like a struggle. It still feels a struggle to have that perfect balance in life, to still stay in control of the mind and still and meditate better. So, and it all happens because of the mind. It has so many doubts, and surrender doesn't come easy. It takes faith. It takes a lot of question answer sessions and convincing, and ultimately it is his grace that does all the wonder. So what happens in a satsang? The soul, who has forgotten its source, who has forgotten where it really came from, it starts to realize that, hey, this mind and body is not me. The voice I hear inside of myself, my thoughts, they aren't really me. It's the mind. I am a soul. And this is why all this seeking was happening, to find the truth about myself. The seeking intensifies at satsang. That seeking, coupled with the love that our soul feels, flowing from the master, takes the journey forward. Now what happens forward? Life becomes easy. The soul stops to identify itself as mind and body, and it escapes the law of karma that operates inside of the mind and becomes completely devoted to the master. It cannot wait to merge into totality. Now, talking about making life easy, it has a very big contribution for satsang. So we know many things in life. We almost every time know the solution to our problems, the techniques to overcome our shortcomings that we have built into ourselves. However, we still struggle so much, desperately trying to implement the solutions, but we fail so much. So what is the real problem? The real problem is that we are not able to apply that knowledge, and we're not able to do it because our mind is not an easy thing to handle. we need more control of it. So what are these solutions? The solutions to control the mind is very easy. I'll say 5 words. It is acceptance, detachment, surrender, love and devotion. So these are topics for 4 different talks. But fortunately, our beloved family here at Daily Satsang have already spoken so well about these solutions. And there is Ishwarji who helps us with these incredible slogans or mantras, as you can call, like so what, and go with the flow, and give your best and leave the rest. What these slogans help us with is that they make us understand we are viewers of a play, not the characters, and that life can be content with no regrets. And they help us detach ourselves from the mind and body and look beyond the time-bound material creation and ultimately realize the true self. So at the end, it all comes down to controlling the mind. Now, how do we do it? By understanding the nature of the mind. So mind is information-based. It learns and lives with the help of information, and it learns so quickly and works so efficiently for itself that it gets complex for us to even understand. Scientists have been researching on how our mind really thinks, what is subconsciousness and what is consciousness really, and there are so many findings coming in almost every month. But if you look at it in the broader perspective, it is not really our fault that the mind is not in our control. Almost all of us did not grow up in a satsangi family. We lived lives like everyone else, not realizing that our mind and body use our attention and drag us like a donkey. But what is the best part? The best part is that our mind can be trained. It can form habits and patterns, and that too good ones. The very nature of the mind can be used to transform itself. So where and how do we learn these good habits? Where and how do we find the right information to feed the mind with? How do we train the mind to become friends with the soul? And the answer is at Satsang. Satsang is the easiest way to control the mind and body, to get back control of our attention. So to truly control the mind, attend Satsang and feed it with the right information that it is always hungry for. So it's a process. Trust it. Trust the process. When you look at the time that the mind has had to develop all these habits and perceptions of the world, it's huge. It has been learning from so many years, since childhood, in fact. And many of us start to walk on the spiritual path a little late in life. So it is okay that the mind needs time. Please allow time for your mind to unlearn all the wrong things. So the daily satsang is thus an amazing platform. And thank you to all of you who attend daily. And we are like co-travelers on this path. And daily satsang brings me to this very important part of the benefits of satsang, is that we find a family. Co-travelers, like I just said, this family helps us become Isha warriors. We interact, we share, we cry and miss the master together. We find in this family courage, inspiration, and good examples. And speaking of examples, our beloved Ishwarji is the perfect example. Perfect living masters come to us as normal, average human beings so that they can become examples for us to follow. If masters as average people can achieve extraordinary awareness, they try to communicate that even we as ordinary human beings can achieve extraordinary awareness, and they prove that. Oh wow, so now this brings me to a very important part of my talk, the benefits of live satsang of a master. So the thing is, like I started with, when we first meet the master, we achieve enlightenment. We have been taken care of. So that's the most important part of a live satsang. When you meet a master, your journey ends there. So that's the most important part. And we get to go back to our true home. And then there are many more things as well. There is Seva. Whenever we attend a live satsang, we get the opportunity to do Seva. And it can be something as simple as serving water to other seekers, to even organizing it. And I think B.B. Raj tells us that Seva is the cup into which masters pour their blessings and their love. and their grace. So that is, and also Seva teaches us how to become humble. It teaches humility. We start to lose our ego slowly. And then we have darshan and drishti. I cannot stress enough on the importance of darshan and drishti. We get it only at live satsang. And darshan is something, darshan is when you look into master's eyes, and drishti is when master looks back at you. And when the master looks back at you with this eye contact, what happens is the love from the eyes goes to the heart, and from the heart it goes to the soul. And the connection that it builds, it is everlasting. And it also helps you achieve that radiant form of master inside of you. So that we can get only at live satsang. And there is the most important benefit. It is called prasad. In the group meeting that I had with Ishwarji this year in February, he explained to us that prasad, the puffed rice that he gives us, is actually great master's blessings. And he added that there is nothing more powerful on this planet or in this creation that is more powerful than a master's blessing. It is the most powerful thing you can receive in this human form. And that too in the form of puffed rice. So that is one very big part of attending satsang. So I would like to end here with the note that daily satsang has helped me so much. And I'm proof that satsang is actually life-changing. I've started to see love everywhere, in everything, in every person. I have, really started to see that it's everywhere. And it has made life so much simple. It's more easy to make decisions. In fact, there is a point when you stop taking decisions, you go with the flow. And it has just made this incredible positive change in life. And I'm so happy that it's just the beginning of it. I'm so excited for what's going to happen ahead. So yes, let's all of us remain in the command of the Master. Radha Swami, thank you so much.
Wow, Puneet, we love you. That's amazing. That
you,
was so good. Thank you so much. And I see a future saint. I see a future saint in you.
Oh my God, that is too much.
Just keep going. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't let anything stop you from master. No matter what happens in life, keep your direction on master. Don't miss your meditation, and it's gonna happen. I see it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you.
Oh, wow, so nice, so wonderful to sit in this love pool every day. I look forward to satsang. I look forward to sit in love, as when I sit with my holy brothers and sisters. There is nothing better than that. You are my family. We're all gonna be in the kingdom of God together, enjoying with master, and it doesn't, nothing tops that. To sit in love every day just makes my day. And just, yes, and it has been changing me. It has been changing me since we started doing every day. It has kept my mind on master, and there is an inner core change in me. Every day he does something. More love is added. More prasad of master is added on us, and I feel Baba Sawan Singh. I feel Sant Thakar Singh, and I feel Ishwar Puri Ji. Every day we do this satsang. I feel them here with us. And that's the greatest feeling, that God is with us, that we are the children of God, and we are with God, and God is in us and around us, and we live in Him, and He lives in us, and our whole life is a big, big blessing. It's every day we sit together, it's a party in God. It's like, you know how people go, the worldly people go to parties and they drink. We come here to this party of God, and we drink His nectar, we drink His love, we drink His elixir, and we get intoxicated, and we are so happy, and I cannot even express how happy I am just to sit in with you in this pool of love. So now we can do 5 minutes of meditation to prepare ourselves to watch Ishwar Puri Ji, so we can compose ourselves and take ourselves to the third eye center, and then we can see him from there. So 5 minutes.
our own self by going just behind the eyes at the third eye center through the withdrawal of attention to our own self and opening up all the doors that you need to open to discover ultimately the ultimate reality. And if you are guided by a perfect living master in that process, then you are able to go only to the third eye center and have a companion with you who will guide you very easily through all the stages of self-discovery, because that guide has been there again and again, over and over again, and knows the route very well. Some of you might have got the impression that this is a lot of effort involved in doing that. And I say this because a lot of people put effort into doing this. The truth is, effort is futile. The truth is that real meditation is effortless. Because effort is always made by the mind. And the mind is the obstacle on our way. So how can effort be successful? If we are putting all our effort into something, and we are used to it, because we get nothing without effort in this world. And so we think, on the spiritual side, how can we get anything without putting our own effort? But when we find that the effort is a product of our own mind, and the mind is an obstacle on the way to self-discovery, how can effort work? So how do we meditate effortlessly? Somebody has asked me by email to talk on the subject of Sahaja Yoga. Yoga, as you probably know, means union with your own reality. That's the real meaning of yoga. Yoga does not mean exercises. We made it into that you just do some exercises and you are doing yoga. Yoga means union with the reality, with your real self. And there are many different types of yoga that you can employ to get knowledge of your own self. But the Sahaja Yoga is the most wonderful thing that can take you beyond the mind. Sahaj is an Indian word. Very loosely translated, it means gentle. So gentle, it should be effortless. It's the gentle way to discover yourself. It is the opposite of aggressive. It is the opposite of violent. It's a non-violent way to discover yourself. So a non-violent way is a peaceful way. Obviously, a peaceful way is non-violent, where you have intense peace, real peace, with no aggression anywhere around you. That's the Sahaj way. So they say that the Surt Shabd Yoga, the yoga of the attention contacting the sound and traveling to its own reality, is a Sahaj Yoga. Is yoga of tranquility, peace, and effortlessness. Now, how do we practice this? A friend of mine wrote to me, I have discovered, he wrote a letter to me, I have discovered that effort is no good on this path, and only effortless meditation helps us. Therefore, from now onwards, I am going to try very hard the effortless way. You can imagine how our mind works. We think even effortless way must be an effort of some kind. We are supposed to be a doer. We have to do something. Our mind does not comprehend that doing does not actually get this work done. It is not doing, stop doing, that helps. People think spiritual journey is a journey somewhere, that we have to travel somewhere. Whether it's inside or outside, there's some travel involved. It's a spiritual journey, spiritual path. The spiritual path means it's a pathway where you must travel, and so it's a journey. They don't realize the spiritual path is not to journey, not to journey anywhere, neither outside nor inside. If you can stop journeying, you reach the truth, that our mind is constantly journeying, it's constantly moving, constantly trying to do things. It can't stop doing things. If you can stop doing things, you will achieve more on the spiritual path than by doing things. But because externally we are always used to doing things, Therefore, we don't practice Sahaja Yoga. We practice what is called Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga means yoga of stubbornness. I am going to do it. 1 hour of meditation didn't work. Make it 2 hours. I'm going to do 8 hours. Till I get something, I'm going to do this. It never works. And there was a very devoted disciple of Great Master, and he's written some nice books. His name was Diwan Daryai Lal. He was a finance minister of a state of Kapurthala near the Dera. He was also a very important political leader in the state and a very wise man. And he wrote books like Heaven on Earth and things like that. When he retired from his job, he came to the Dera to Great Master and said, Master, give me some seva. Give me some service. I'd like to do service for you and for the people here. Master said, you are so educated. You have a great experience in finance, in administration. You can take any job. There are so many administrative jobs available here. You can be a financial advisor for the Dera. You can take care of our accounts. He said, no, Master, if you permit me, I like the seva, the service of being your doorman. I want to stand outside your door. That's all I want. And much to our surprise, but not to his surprise, the Great Master said, okay, go and stand outside my door. And he stood outside the door of Great Master all his life. And after some years of standing outside the door, having meetings with wonderful people who came to see the Great Master, a job he enjoyed a lot, he came to Great Master one day. He said, Master, I am enjoying the seva you gave me. But I missed out on something very important. I missed out on meditation. You've always been saying how important meditation is, and I missed out on meditation just standing outside your door. I want to catch up on this. I understand, Master, that every year you go to a hill station called Dalhousie, and this you are not going. You spend 3 months there in the summer. Can you give me the keys of your house up in the hills so I can go and meditate day and night for 3 months and catch up with all the lost time? The Great Master said, certainly. Here are the keys. Go and enjoy yourself and meditate. He took the keys and went up to Dalhousie, to that hill station, and opened up the Great Master's house. So peaceful, he said, there's so much ambience. Sound can be heard radiating from the walls of this house. I am going to have the greatest meditation possible. And as soon as he entered and put his bags inside, one man knocked on the door. Oh, I'm glad somebody is here. I'm the plumber. I've been waiting for somebody to come so I can do some plumbing work. Okay, plumbing work started. Another guy comes. Third, next day, more people came. Oh, we understand you are here. He tried the hardest he could and could not meditate even for a day. He felt so disappointed. He said, I tried so hard to find all the time for meditation, to catch up with my meditation, and I failed. He went back to Great Master in the Dera and said, Master, here are your keys. I'm sorry, I failed. The Great Master laughed. He said, no, you didn't fail, you passed. He said, how could I pass? I never could meditate over there. He said, that's how you passed. You found out this is a Sahaja Yoga. This is an effortless yoga. It's not one where you try hard and get it. So you tried hard and couldn't get it. That's the lesson you learned. You learned the good lesson. So, Master, how can we have any progress in meditation without meditating? He says, why do you have a master for? That's a strange question. He says, why do you have a master for? He said, we have a master who can guide us and tell us. He says, no, you have a master so he can meditate for you. You have a master who can do everything for you. If we believe that master can do everything for us, why not meditation? So what kind of meditation should it be? He said, meditation should be that you, after getting initiated from a perfect living master, sit behind the eyes, relax. He said, Master, I'm glad you are here. Meditate for me while I relax and enjoy. Effortless. Isn't it the master's job to do this? It is certainly the job of a perfect living master. If he is willing to do everything for you, wouldn't he do meditation for you? How can you say, he says, I'll do everything else for you, you do meditation? That's not the kind of deal we can have from a master. The deal from a master is, he can do everything for you, and you need to relax. You need to feel you have surrendered your efforts to somebody who can do better than you. If you believe that he can do better than you, why are you trying to do something? So, the best way to meditate is to relax, have a conversation, a lovey-dovey conversation with your beloved master. Make a trip, plan a trip to Sachkhand, plan a trip somewhere, and have a good time and say, Master, you keep on meditating for me. That is, now it involves a lot of things. I make it like a story, but the truth is, it means the ability to surrender, which is what we lack because of our ego. It's the ego, the I-ness, that comes in the way. We don't realize how important it is to defeat the I. It's the I that's coming in all the time and preventing us to make success of ourselves. So, there is no place for I on the spiritual path. This place is for you. Now here we talk of love for people. All the time I hear people saying, I love you, love you. Any phone conversation ends, I love you. Who loves who? When somebody says, I love you, I see in the tone, the love is more for the I than for you. I see it's a kind of a macho statement being made. I love you. Suppose the other person says, but I don't. Then you say, then I also hate you. What kind of love is that? I mean, we use these words so freely. What is love? Love is the most Sahaja Yoga that's possible. It's the most effortless thing that happens. Love doesn't come to us by putting effort into it. Love comes, and we don't know what to do with it. We are affected by love. It touches us, and we forget ourselves. The beloved occupies the space in our head. It's the beloved. A person who is in love does not say, I love you. He says, you, you, you. There's no place for I. That's true love. In true love, we place the ego in a backbencher. We put the ego behind. And that's how we are able to have, when we say meditation with love and devotion, where does love and devotion come from? It does not come from folding hands and saying, I am devoted. It's not a posturing. Devotion is a feeling where you surrender, where you feel the I has no place left. The whole place has been occupied in your consciousness by the beloved. The beloved has taken over the whole place. And that's what true love is. True love is something that is very different from what we call love. What we call love is actually an attachment. An attachment to somebody. You say, I love you, you're attached to that you. Because in your consciousness, when you say that, you are aware of two. You and the one you are attached to. This attachment, at the most, a very good attachment can create a very good feeling of togetherness. It can never create a feeling of oneness. True love creates the feeling of oneness. There is no difference left. We can't think of oneself. The ego is displaced in true love. And therefore, when we say, meditate in a Sahaja Yoga, yoga of peace, tranquility, we can't use the mind in that. We can't use the ego. Any egoistic meditation cannot be Sahaja Yoga. It is aggressive yoga. And therefore, the importance of the Sahaja Yoga is that in that state, you are able to surrender. And they say surrender is a tough four-step position. When you surrender, you first surrender your attachment to worldly things, which is itself very difficult. To say, this is my car, no, now it belongs to the Lord. Now it belongs to the Master. I'm using it. Even that is difficult to say. We're constantly aware of the ownership. I own my car, I own my house, I own my things. It's difficult even from material things. Material things, none of which will go with us when we die. And we know it. We see people dying, they're not carrying anything with them. And we think, oh, let's accumulate some more. Maybe they'll stay with us forever. Nothing stays with us. And that's where we attach to. This attachment, you to surrender. Does not mean give them up. Use them. Have the sense they don't belong to you. I is not involved, but I has been given the chance to use it. It's the sense of belonging that creates the problem. When I asserts that I own something, the I is the most powerful obstacle to our growth. That is why, then, why identify yourself only with the body and the mind? Just start thinking differently. Instead of saying, I think so, the answer should be, I've been given a mind, the mind thinks so. Is the mind a machine thinking so? It's not to be said like this. You don't have to say anything. It's just a constant awareness of this thing. That what am I doing? I'm using machines and using equipment and bodies and all that, and I am pretending to be that. I have been given all these for use. Nothing belongs to me. Everything has to be left behind. Nothing is mine. And therefore, I am just going to be surrendering attachments to things. Very easy to do because I am going to just think in my mind, it doesn't belong to me. I have to given the privilege to use it. Same thing about relationships with people. Try to make them your own. We try to make people our own. They never become our own. We try so hard to make them our own. The harder we try, the more doubts they have. The more doubts that you have. The doubt is a great creation of the mind. Doubt and fear, they come after this and they stop you from having an experience of love. So when you have meditation with love and devotion, it's a meditation of surrender. And you learn to relax. Not relax on the body, relax inside, in consciousness. Put your consciousness behind the eyes and relax. If you want to have an experience of relaxing in a chair, for example, a wonderful relaxing chair, a rocking chair, like I love rocking chairs, put a rocking chair in your head. The best rocking chair, most expensive that you've ever seen. It'll be free because you'll imagine it only. A free rocking chair is available to you to relax in behind the eyes. Relax and watch somebody who has more ability, more knowledge, more practice than you in meditating and going to higher regions. Do it for you. Say, I'll hold your hand, that's it. I'm not going to put any effort. It's your job. The master, when he initiates an individual, he takes the responsibility to take him home. Full responsibility, not partial, not conditional. It does not say, if you do this, I will take you home, otherwise let you rot here. Never. He says, you are guaranteed to go home with me, willingly or willingly, unwillingly, I'll take you home. That's the promise of initiation. Initiation is the greatest event that can ever happen in our life. There's no other thing that I can think of that can happen in life than initiation by a perfect living master, whose initiation means he manifests himself in you and says, I will take you back home. Now let him do the job. When I was young, I had a deal with my master. It was a deal, I think it was a very interesting deal. I heard the master say in a discourse, and I'll repeat the Indian words and then translate for you. Kaya nagar hai niko which soda har ras kijo, which means this body is like a township. In this town there are many places, there are marketplaces. The best deals you can have are in the marketplace inside. I went to my master. I said, Master, I understand that we can have deals in that marketplace. He said, sure. I said, deal means an exchange. I give you something, you give me back. He said, that's what a transaction, a deal is. A business transaction means I give you something, you give me something. I said, how about a deal, master, that I give you all the sorrows and sufferings I'm going to get in life, and you give me all the happiness and joy? I proposed this deal. Master said, done. That was I think this was 75 years ago this happened. For 75 years, he has kept his word and I have kept mine. And it's been a wonderful deal. Got the best of both worlds, here and there, with that deal. Now, I came to this country, United States, and I told some followers of masters, Satsangis, I said, there is a possibility when you have a perfect living master who is so powerful, who is sitting up in Sachkhand and here at the same time. When you come across such a person, have a deal. So get me, I got a deal. They said, what deal was it? I told them the deal, that I got all the goodies of life and I gave away all my sorrows to him and he took it. They criticized me so badly. That's so unfair. What you did to your master. Don't you regret it? Aren't you ashamed of it? I was shocked when followers of masters told me that, are you not ashamed of having a deal? I said, these people have no idea what a master is. They have never had contact with a master, if that's what they think it is. They are making a master whose consciousness is the consciousness of the total creator into an ordinary human being with whom we have a deal. That's not the kind of deal. So then people began to say, okay, now that you told us, some wise people said, clever people said, no, he's given us a hint how to go about the business of spirituality. Don't worry about meditation and all that stuff. That's meant for the runners-up, not for the winners. For the winners, the method is to have a deal. So they said, we are going to have a deal. I said, okay, let's have a deal. Then they suddenly found the deal is easily made. It's so difficult to follow your part. What the deal entails is that you give all your suffering and sorrow to the master. We are not able to do that. We take responsibility on ourselves. We have been taught so. We have been told, be responsible for your actions. That never goes, it's ingrained in us. And we say, no, this I must do myself. Even at best we say, I can do this much, master, I just need your help. He says, okay, go ahead. The master gives us a long rope when we want to say we can do it ourselves. In any area. But the deal will only be useful and effective if we are able to follow the path of effortless meditation, which means that let the master do it. Try it out. He can do everything internally and externally. It's difficult for the mind to believe it. It's only when you live through it and discover that the path of surrender, where you can watch what's going on in your life, in your spiritual path, just because you surrendered to the master to do it for you. It makes the path so simple and makes Sahaja Yoga a reality. The yoga where there's no effort and no effort on your part. And if you think maybe now the master has taken on the role, he must be putting in a lot of effort. Let me tell you a secret. This is from the handbook for masters. The secret is no master ever puts in an effort. He makes his master put in the effort. It's a very good cycle going on, very good succession. Nobody needs, because masters have masters. So that's so wonderful that you can depend on the master because he is going to say yes, because he knows his master is going to keep the deal, and so on. It's a very practical thing, and very few people have been able to really follow Sahaja Yoga. But that's the real yoga if you want to go beyond the mind. Other yogas will take you up to a point where effort can take you. That's a mental level, up to the mental level. You want to go to true spiritual level, where you leave the mind behind, it has to be Sahaja Yoga. Now I mentioned to you about Seva, another subject that came up, that what is Seva then? How can you do service? Doesn't that involve effort? When you do service, service is also like surrender. Like when you surrender the attachment to the things around, you surrender your attachment to people, and you surrender even the spiritual work to your master, and finally you surrender the surrenderer himself. That's the fourth part, is the most difficult. To surrender the surrenderer himself, to wipe out yourself and say, Master, you replace me inside. And he replaces. The power of the Master can come into you if you're an initiate. And it's not confined to a few people. What I'm talking about is possible for any initiate of a perfect living Master, that you can get these benefits. Seva is also like that. Seva can be done with a material belonging something to you. You can do seva by writing a check for some purpose to be used by the Master, such as running a dera or organizing meetings and so on. Or you can do seva with your body. Carry loads, do seva for the Master, carry his bag, or if he's not there, do work for the people. In the dera in Great Master's time, we used to enjoy doing mitti seva. Mitti seva was carrying dirt on our heads. And we carried bricks on our head to build the dera there. The last place where Great Master built for holding his discourses, a slightly bigger auditorium, a nice design. We carried bricks for that. I was very small, so I carried one brick on my head. Others carried a basket of bricks. And I remember I used to walk for that seva, or brick seva we called it, the brick seva on the head, along with a Mastana, a tall guy. He was a Baluchistani Mastana from Baluchistan, and a good disciple of Great Master, having a lot of inner experiences which he would share with Great Master, but while we were walking the seva, he would tell me also. For example, he told me how we come back to our own life when we go into meditation, and yet we have to relearn how to talk there. Because we are so used to talking with the tongue here, that when we go inner and discover that we have been there before, we start talking to each other in the same language, little realizing language doesn't matter there. That you can speak Russian, another person doesn't know Russian, speaks French, both can understand each other. It's a transference of knowledge or thoughts that are going on that you understand. And so he was telling me how these changes take place when we go within, and wonderful experiences. But that mitti seva made all of us equal. There was an American disciple who came to the dera first time, and he had carried his bag with him, and he saw a lot of people working. They were carrying bricks and carrying dirt and so on. He called one of the guy, "Hey guy, come here. Can you take my bag to the guest house? I have a reservation here." Guy said, "Yes sir, yes sir." "Oh, you speak good English. Very good. Take my bag." So the guy carried his bag. It was full of dirt and all, but he carried his bag. He said, "Here's $1. It's an American dollar. You know, it's worth many rupees of your country." He said, "No, sir, I don't take any tips from anybody." No. I'm giving you out of good faith. It's a tip. We normally do it in America." "No, sir, I don't take any tips." So in the evening, he's sitting in a meeting, and he finds the same guy sitting in a suit and tie. And he said, "Isn't that the guy who carried my bag?" They said, "Yes." They asked, "Did you carry his bag?" He said, "Yes, I did. I helped him with his bag." And he finds out he's a billionaire industrialist, billionaire of India. The man who was carrying the dirt and who carried his bag, whom he was trying to tip $1. There in that mitti seva, you forget who you are. Everybody becomes equal. It's a wonderful seva. To do seva with the physical body has its great value. It equalizes you. It also pushes the ego back a little bit. But the seva with the mind is the best seva. Seva with the mind means when you meditate, you do not meditate to get anything, but as an offering, as a seva. "Master, you told me meditate 2.5 hours. Here is my offering to you. A real meditation you do for me. I do seva. I'm just doing my seva. And now you do the work. Not tit for tat, but otherwise you told me that seva is good, I'm doing it. What is the value of the seva? The value of the seva is, it's if you are doing seva for the master, thinking about the master, thinking how he's given you this opportunity, it's as good as meditation. Meditation should never be confused with the mechanical act of sitting and closing your eyes and saying you are meditating. Meditation is a way of life. Meditation is to be in love with somebody and not being able to think of anything else. That's meditation. Seva is meditation. There was great master's grandson.
Wow, that was a great talk. I sent it to the WhatsApp if you want to watch it later. But yes, I'm looking forward for Seva when I go to the Dera and carry dirt or whatever they ask me for. I'm looking forward the next month. So now it's time to meditate. So if we can forget about the world outside and the body below and come up here to the third eye center where Ishwar Puri Ji is waiting for us with open heart and open arms, and we have few beautiful words of gratitude to our master. Hold his hand, do the Simran of the 5 holy names slowly with intervals with the tongue of the thought, and try to listen to what your mind is repeating. And I wish you the best meditation. I hope to see you tomorrow for another holy day in Holy Father God. I'll keep Zoom on for 20 minutes. Thank you so much.